Alzheimer's affects millions of families, and questions about early symptoms and long-term care are top of mind for many older adults. In her book, Truth, Lies, and Alzheimer's, dementia behavior specialist Lisa Skinner breaks down what's normal aging, what may signal something more serious, and why brain diseases are so challenging for families to navigate. Lisa, welcome to New Day.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for having me.
Such an important topic, so I want to get right into it. For a lot of older adults, Alzheimer's, they say, is their #1 health fear. From your perspective, what do you think is really driving that anxiety?
Well, it's a very complex and misunderstood condition. And I have been doing this professionally for 30 years now. And I've seen a common theme with people that they really relate Alzheimer's disease to be exclusive to short-term memory loss and extreme confusion. It is so much more complex than that, and I think that people don't actually realize that these other symptoms and signs and behaviors that we do see very commonly with one of these diseases, and I should say there are over 100 brain diseases that cause similar symptoms, and we refer to those as dementia. So people aren't really connecting the dots that it really impacts almost all of our cognitive functions. Our ability to reason and to make sound judgments about things, all of these are eventually impaired and makes day-to-day living very, very challenging.
Definitely. And you write about the differences because it's hard to know, is this normal aging? Am I just being forgetful when I'm getting to a certain age? So what are the clearest signs to tell people that they're moving into a different realm than just your typical forgetfulness?
And I think that kind of to piggyback on your first question, that is one of the driving fears is if we are experiencing what we refer to as the normal aging forgetfulness stage or process, which is very common, and it happens to all of us, especially starting at around the age of 40. So that would look like you walk into a room, you don't remember why you went in there.
Right.
You misplace your phone, your keys, things like that. You're talking to a friend and you want to refer to somebody else and the name flies out of your head.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. Those are all signs of normal aging forgetfulness. And that's another thing that really makes Alzheimer's disease and these other brain diseases that cause dementia so difficult to diagnose in the early stages, because in the very beginning, people are either asymptomatic, they're not showing any signs at all. It's known that we can live with Alzheimer's disease for 10 or more years before symptoms show up. But in the very early stages, they are as subtle as the ones that we just talked about for normal aging forgetfulness. So what I tell people, and this is probably the easiest explanation, when the symptomology becomes so blatantly obvious that it begins to interfere with a person's daily living tasks.
Right, your day-to-day.
Your day-to-day. That's a red sign. That is a sign or a red flag that maybe there's something more serious developing.
What can you be doing to minimize the risk?
There are a lot of things. As a matter of fact, the Lancet Review just updated their statistic that by implementing certain lifestyle choices and paying attention to medical conditions and having them managed through a physician, you can actually reduce your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease by up to 45%. They just increased that recently from 40%. But there are so many risk factors that play a role into whether it increases our risk of developing Alzheimer's disease or minimizes that risk. But some of the lifestyle choices that I'd love to mention, because we can start those at any age at any stage of our lives. It's not just, oh, wait until you're in your 70s or 80s. It's diet choices.
Yep. Workout.
Exercise.
Get out and exercise.
Yes.
Okay.
And they are telling us that the most harmful foods for us to eat these days are what's called ultra-processed foods, and processed foods is second. So anything that's been altered.
Right. That makes perfect sense.
Yes, it does.
Lisa, thank you so much. And I know you have a weekly podcast too, so everyone needs to follow you along for that for more information. Thank you for talking about this topic with us.
Thanks again for having me. I appreciate it very much, Kelly.
Absolutely.